Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And before we actually get into the topic of the video for today, just want to make a quick plug for the live stream we're going to have at 6 p.m. Eastern, only for YouTube members. We're going to talk about thoughts and commentaries on the topic of success, and we've called it Road to Success. So if you want to join as a YouTube channel member, have access to that live stream and the recording, just make sure you hit the join button right here, and then only for 99 cents a month you have access to these emojis, as well as the once a month exclusive live stream for our members. The last two ones have been about velocity banking. We're going to switch it up a little bit and talk about success in general. Okay, now let's go back to the topic of the video. And so in today's video we're going to talk about velocity banking, but it's going to be a little bit different from the other videos. Why is that? Because in this situation, we're going to say that this person is actually doing quite well, right? It may not even need velocity banking, who knows? But if you have $6,500 of income and you only have $4,000 expenses, this $2,400 of savings is really good. Not a lot of people get to experience that. In fact, you could read many studies out there about how, like, if an average American had like a $400 emergency, they'd freak out because they don't have $400 in their savings, right? But let's just assume, let me erase this, that we just have two credit cards and an auto loan and a student loan, right? And these are the payments for them, okay? So we're just gonna increase our cash flow even more, right? And pay off all these debts. More debts paid off is more cash flow. And what are the requirements for doing velocity banking? Again, two things. We have the budget. First one's always a budget, which we have right now. Budget tells us where our money is going and how much cash flow we can recover with every single debt that we pay off. Okay? Number two is a line of credit as our main operating account. So let's just assume this. Let's assume that we're able to get a personal line of credit for 15 grand, and that's going to be our main operating account, right? And one of the things we always assume with velocity banking is that we make the same amount of money and we have no savings. Why do we not have any savings? Because what we're going to do is put our paycheck into that line of credit, right? Which will satisfy the monthly payment, and then take the expenses out of there. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and do this and see what we can do to increase our cash flow. So I'm going to just go ahead and copy these numbers. And this is what I see here. Okay. So we have a $15,000 limit, right? And one of the ways I see us increasing cash flow is just doing a simple debt transfer, right? So this is 15K in credit card debt in total. So let's just do this. Move this 15K debt to the line of credit, okay? So now it's going to have a $15,000 balance. But let's take a look at this. Now, if we see that the expenses just magically decreased by a simple debt transfer, all right, and we're at almost $3,000 of cash flow, which is quite amazing. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this sucker down to zero, and this is month zero, and we're gonna just do a few formulas, so hopefully you might be familiar with them. So this is gonna be I2 plus J2, right? So in order to get the next month's balance, we're going to get the balance into interest. But in month zero, there's no interest because you only get that after the first statement is passed. And then subtracted by our cash flow. So 2975.37. Okay. And so now we're at month one. And now we have to actually calculate the interest, right? So what's the interest? You take it with the average daily balance. So what you do is you just use this average formula right here as a way to kind of get a number that's the midpoint between these two, although that's not exactly correct. Multiply by the interest rate, so 15% is just 0.15, and then you divide it by 12. Okay? And then now all we do is just copy and paste and wait for this sucker to go to red or zero, right? So how long did it take us to pay off this 15 grand of debt? 6 months, right? Not bad. So let's just go ahead and write our milestones about how long it took to pay off this debt. So 6 months, and we paid off the two credit cards, which is 15K. Okay, 15K. All right, so we got that. And actually, let me just do this, make it a little bit better. So 15K. Okay, so we've got that. And now we have the auto loan and the student loan. And so you might be wondering, which one do I pay off first? To be honest, in this context, it doesn't really matter. But I'm just going to go over a debt payoff criteria. So if you have debt and you want to know which one to pay off first, you could pay off any debt that fits these three criteria as much as possible. So the highest payment, the lowest balance, and the highest interest rate. So if you take a look here, which one has the highest payment? This one. Which one has the lowest balance? This one. And then which one has the highest interest rate? They both have the same interest rate. So it's a little bit going to be a little bit hard to choose. Another thing we can do is use the cash flow index formula. And the cash flow index formula I consider like a ranking system. And if you ever look at the website Wealth Factory, Garrett Gunderson, the number that you get is kind of arbitrary, but has a meaning as to what debts you need to pay off. But we're going to skip the cash flow index for now, and this is what we can do, right? So when we have, let's say, loans that are bigger than our line of credit, and it doesn't significantly free up cash flow, let's say like a mortgage, what we can do is something called chunking, right? And actually, we can just put like reduce this by the same amount as our income. So, for example, we move $6,500 of debt from the auto loan to the line of credit, and then we just you know make it go down based on our cash flow. Now, let's figure out what the actual auto loan uh, uh, the auto loan balance is. So if we go here in the amortization calculator, so we get 23,000, and we'll just assume 5 years. What is the balance after 6 months, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's only about 20 grand, almost 21 grand. So we'll just go here and say the balance is at 21 grand. Okay. And so what we can do, just as a cheat sheet, but let me actually demonstrate the concept first, is that we're going to subtract 6,500 or move it to the line of credit and then pay it off using our cash flow. And this is a process is called chunking. Okay. So let's say here we added 6,500, just do a simple debt transfer. And then you'll notice in 2 months that chunk gets paid off, right? And so we're just going to rinse and repeat over and over again. And we luckily we have a cheat sheet calculator that'll do this for us from Renatus, right? And I'm actually independently affiliated with them. So they call us independent contracted marketers, meaning we promote Renatus, and we actually get a little commission for that. Well, not a little. Sometimes it could be big based on what educational packages sell. But the point is that because I'm part of Renatus, I have access to a special calculator that you may have access to if you decide to take the classes that we're able to distribute for them. Okay, so let's just do this. They have this velocity banking calculator, and we just need to fill in some of the numbers. Okay, so what is our auto loan original amount? 23,000. So 23,000. So whoopsie, 23,000. Okay, and what's our current balance? So let me go ahead and copy and paste this. 2997.18. Okay, and then 6% interest rate. That's a 5-year term. And what's the payment amount? Let me go ahead and copy that. That will be 44465. 44465. Okay, and then let's go ahead. Our personal account is 15%. And what are our expenses? Let's take a look. So it's everything except the student loan. So what is everything except the student loan? So let me go ahead and copy this. Or I'm sorry, the auto loan, because that's what we're trying to pay off. All right, yeah. So these are our expenses, these three, right? So 3079.98. So we just put that in there. Okay. And let's see how long it takes for us to pay it off. Half a year. So it's just 6 months to pay it off? That's crazy. Oh my goodness, I'm blown away. Did I do something wrong? This seems way too good to be true. All right, so we'll just say half a year. Okay, half a year. So let's just put this in our milestones. All right, so now, so it's half a year. That means that's 12 months in total. And then we're going to pay off our auto loan in, yeah, how much in total? So 10, 5 is 15, and then 38K. in a year. Okay, so now we just have to pay this sucker off. So let's just put this here. So 30,000 at 6%. So let's go ahead and do that. 30,000, assuming it has the same term as a car loan, and then we'll look at 12 months at what the actual balance is. So it'll be 24,695.90. So at this point, we'll just copy and paste. And then we just rinse and repeat again. That's why I love the Velocity Banking cheat sheet, because it's a little bit more accurate than how I normally do it. But take a look at this. Actually, is it right here? Let me go back up here. So it has like has all the details of what happens, making the payment and then chunking, right? So it's pretty crazy. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do this. So what's the original balance of the student loan? 30,000. And then what's the current balance right now? Let's go back here. So it's gone down about 6K. And let's just copy and paste the current balance. Okay, 6%, 5 years, and what's the payment amount? It is 579.98. 579.98. So let's go ahead and put that in. 579.98. Okay, and now our expenses have decreased because of that one paid for loan. So, okay, so now all we have to do is take into account these two, right? So what's the sum of these two? Equals, so that'll be 2,500. That's our expenses now, excluding the loan we're trying to pay off. So now what we're do is just put 2,500 here. Oh, oopsie. 2,500 here. Okay. And how long does it take us to pay off? Another half a year. Okay. So another half a year. So let's just go in here, right? And then now it's just 18 months. Is it 18 months? Yeah, it's 18 months. And we're going to put in how much? That's in 30, so that'll be 68K. Well, not 58K, 68K. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's the last, whoopsie, loan, and you can see how easy that was. You move the credit cards there, put the zero, and then we do chunking with these types of loans. So anytime you have a lower interest loan, you don't necessarily want to dump the entire thing into the line of credit, even if you had the choice, because if you just do some comparison calculations, you'll realize that you're going to be losing rather than just doing chunking. And chunking just makes it easier for you to pay off your loan quickly and put your money into one place. Okay, so that's about it for today. I don't know if you have any other questions. Go ahead, free feel, leave a comment below. But guess what? I mean, we're in a pretty good position. If we were a homeowner, that would probably be like the next thing we pay off, right? But we're not, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, have you ever thought that you could pay off 68K of debt easily in 18 months? And you know what the funny thing is? I paid off 58K of my mortgage in 1 year using this strategy, right? So I have some really good cash flow, and then I was just applying it to mortgage, putting my money in one place in the line of credit, and now I'm good. All right, so that's it for today. If you're interested in joining our group, I always like to make a plug. Go ahead and make sure to click the Google form link below, and then we'll get a one-on-one Zoom call, see what your goals and interests are, and see if we can help you with achieving your goals. Other than that, have a great day, everybody, and we'll speak next time.